Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last episode of 2021 for the John and Wendy Show here live on Twitch, later to tape on YouTube. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, one of your co-hosts, joined as always by the lovely, talented, and brilliant, and damn accomplished Wendy Lee. How are you, Wendy?
I'm doing well. We were talking just off mic a little bit ago of how I don't feel like I've got my stuff together. It's the end of the year syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's exactly what it is. But I'm happy to be busy. I'm happy that the holidays coming up and, being able to celebrate with friends and loved ones in a very contained manner. Stay safe. Wear your mask, wash your hands, but don't touch your face. But things are good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, we're prepping ourselves to be heading over to the East Coast. I know, it's kind of dangerous now with Omicron and the variants and all this stuff happening right now, but we are preparing ourselves to go to the East Coast for a few days. See my mom, who I haven't seen in 2 years, see my niece and nephew, I haven't seen in a couple of years either, and my sister, and their family. So we're just looking forward to that. But with all the stuff that's surging, all the stuff that's happening, we're just kind of keeping it chill. We're not going to probably leave the hotel too often. Maybe get some food outside, but we're not going to be maybe venturing down into DC like we have in the past to see the museum. So we're just kind of prepping for all that and wondering if we're going to be able to kind of make the trip and come back and be safe. We shall see. But yeah.
Absolutely. What's the weather? What's the forecast for?
50 degrees and for the high and 30 degrees for the low. So
that's not terrible.
Okay. You tell her that because she is absolutely freaking out about it.
Is she not used to the cold?
It's not that. It's more a matter of that she doesn't like the cold. I think it's more about
I get that. Look, I've been in negative 17 before.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant. That I don't like. 30 is not great, but manageable in comparison.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Are we live? I'm looking at the Twitch right now. Are you seeing us? Are we live?
Yeah, we good. Sure. Mr. Yasman 300's here. MK Songbird is here. Welcome, chat.
What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. So for those of you maybe new or those of you coming back, you know how the show works. Wendy and I talk about the big entertainment news that's going on, jump into some what's trending, and then give you our review or recommendations for what's coming out. We're going to try to power through the show today. So let's jump into our first topic. What's up, Drunken Prayer? What's up, Attaboy? Good to see you.
Heyo. So for the very first topic, I thought there was a couple of very interesting trailers that we ought to talk about. One of them, this is so fascinating because, we love Michelle Yeoh and everything she does.
Yes, we do.
There is this new trailer. I believe it comes from A24. So again, another studio, more indie, but we love the film that they put out. This trailer is called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And the trailer 100% gives off that exact vibe. So this is an upcoming, it's a sci-fi film written, directed by Daniel Kwong. And Michelle Yeoh's in it. Stephanie Hsu is in it. Jenny Slate is in it. Harry Shum Jr. is in it. James Hahn is in it. Love him. Jamie Lee Curtis. And it's bananas because she seems like she is like a working immigrant.
Yes.
And all of a sudden she's wrapped up in this crazy multiverse, not the MCU, but a multiverse. And she's in this adventure. She's connected to different types of personalities, but she has all of their memories, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I watched it on the big screen last night, actually, right before Spider-Man No Way Home, which we will be talking about as well.
Yeah, later on the show.
Sans spoilers. Yeah. But I didn't know what to make of the trailer. Obviously, I enjoyed it so much that I definitely will be seeing this movie because I support everything she does.
Yeah.
But it was one of the more, and I can't believe I'm saying this about an A24 film, but I think it's one of the more crazy, chaotic trailers that I've seen from A24. And this is the same studio that put out Lamb.
Right. Which is pretty insane film as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the trailer?
Oh, I love the trailer. You talk about a multiverse. That's Michelle Yeoh splitting out into the multiverse. It was Michelle Yeoh. Sorry. It was exciting to see this, to see her doing her thing in this, and then seeing the return of Data / Short Round, who apparently hasn't acted in years, playing her son and bringing the appropriate amount of humor and fun and also freaking out situations throughout the trailer. Loved her daughter Stephanie Sue. I loved her on the Nora show, the Aquafina, Nora and Queens. She was great in that as young Shushu. She's in an AT&T commercial right now with Melina Vaintrub. And so to me, this looked really fun. And then you get Michelle Yeoh getting a chance to do kick-ass action, getting a chance to play a character with crazy stuff happening, and getting a chance to play some real comedy and some actual tender moments as well. You know, there's a moment in the trailer where she says, of all the worlds and all the places I could be, here with you is where I want to be. And she's talking to her family. So there's powerful stuff going on there in terms of the emotion and the connection. And then all this other stuff is going to be so much fun for us to explore. And the different universes or different timelines look very well created and very well decorated, Wendy, for sure.
Yeah, this looks to be crazy. And I feel like, not to say Michelle Yeoh is underutilized, because I definitely don't think so.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes she does kind of get put into the category of, you know, action, sci-fi, stunt stuff. Because, like, you know, I mean, this is sci-fi as well.
Yeah.
But this, like you said, it's multifaceted, right? So it's not just her showing off her amazing martial arts skills. It's really her getting to dig in to some of these other characters that she's going to be playing and play off their quirkiness, the emotional stuff, whatever it may be. I literally watched the trailer. I'm like, I don't know exactly what this movie, like, I think I know, I'm not sure, but I am into it. Yeah.
It feels like The Fountain and Cloud Atlas, but with humor, or instead of like very self-important things that it's talking about. This has got to be, and I think it's going to be humor, but with a message and a message about humanity or about society and all of that. And of course, I think Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be the villain because she's almost unrecognizable. And then you see this fight sequence where you see this, you know, yellow clad sweater arm going in, which matches what Jamie Lee Curtis is wearing in the trailer. So clearly she's probably been sent to track her down and to have this battle with her. So much to be happening. Wouldn't that be great? Two women of age having a battle as the lead villain and hero in a movie. Great. Yeah.
It's great. And speaking of, you know, interesting, new, different type of trailer, we've got another one that I feel like we got to talk about. Mainly because I knew nothing of this until I saw the poster for it yesterday. And I said, what is this? So this is a film. It's a comedy coming out. It's called Big Gold Brick. And if you just look at the cast of this, it's very interesting. So it's got Megan Fox, Lucy Hale, Andy Garcia, Oscar Isaac, who's also serving as a producer on this. Like, and I think that's a first time director as well. Brian Petsos. Yeah, he's a first time feature film director. And the second look, I know the poster is kind of floating head. But at the same time, when I saw it, I was like, I mean, this cast is, I never would have imagined any of these people in a movie together. Sold. I think I would have watched it without the trailer, honestly.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Megan Fox as an actress, so I'm on the fence a little bit about this. But you talk about Oscar Isaac, him I'm a fan of. You talk about him producing it, 1,000% I'm on there as well. And Kristen Wiig is one of the executive producers as well, so you know you're going to have some fun with this one. And you've got Lucy Hale coming aboard and Andy Garcia. So for me, that's checking a lot of those Latino boxes. Garcia and Oscar Isaac being involved in this, throwing in and having Lucy Hale and Emery Cohen, you know. So it looks interesting. Is it going to work? Is it going to be a film that catches on with a lot of people? I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will find out for sure. So that's what I would say overall about it. But I like that it says a cerebral comedy, so it knows it's got its tongue firmly planted in its cheek.
I love when a movie goes in and when they're self-aware.
They're
like, we know what you're thinking. We might even say what we think you're thinking and what we're thinking in the film. And I think to Megan Fox, I know a lot of people look at her and they think Transformers, Ninja Turtles, right? A little bit more like sci-fi action type of deal. The girl has comedy chops. Like, she has her comedic timing is great. Jennifer Body, and that's not a comedy. Jennifer's Body is a bad example, but she's excellent in that film. There's a couple other ones I can't think of right now.
This is 40. She's funny as hell in This Is 40.
And The Confessions of a Drama Queen.
Yes, Teenage Drama Queen. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, she's a little bit more like a Regina George in that one, but her comedic timing is good. People don't usually look at Megan Fox and think, oh, comedy.
Right.
Because of her filmography, but she can be really great with comedy, and I feel like she's gonna have a lot of fun. With this one. Yeah, you know, absolutely. So, yeah.
All right. And thanks to everybody who's joining us right now. Mr. Yazman 300, Luke Gaming Time saying, sending a cheer, 100 bits cheer, I think.
Thank you.
Said, saw you live in London with Matt Nose. Great to see your shows doing so well. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Luke.
When was that? That was 2018, 2019?
Yeah, so long ago. You're right. Yeah, 2019, something like that.
I mean, maybe end of 2020, you can finally go tour again.
Not with the Omicron going on.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that it'll like, you know, do its thing, and then like I'm still hoping, because I really don't want to be like in this for all of 2022. Yeah, I know it will be for some of 22. It's inevitable. Yeah. Right. Especially with the holiday, traveling is at a peak. Family gathering, indoor parties, all of that is all at peak. So I get it. Like it'll spread, but I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's what I'm
trying to stay optimistic.
We're double masking on the plane and going right to the hotel. No questions asked.
All you have to do is just don't touch your eyes. Don't rub your eyes. It can get in there. It's whatever you wouldn't do at Comic-Con. Just don't do it at the plane. I promise you.
All right. What do we got next, Wendy?
All right. Let's go back to the show notes. So I know you've seen this. I haven't had a chance. There's been 2 screenings, and I had to miss both because my schedule's just, excuse me, not working out for both. But The Matrix Resurrections have been screened for various critics across the nation, if not the world. Right. So the social embargo, the social reaction embargo has lifted. And I just want to remind people that this is not a social embargo. Is very different from a review embargo. As critics, when we say social embargo, it means you can go ahead and tweet about it, how the movie made you feel, but it cannot read like a review. You can't be like, oh, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like that's they don't love that. So, and that's why sometimes there are 2 embargoes. So I just kind of wanted to take a look at some of the social reactions for this film, since it's coming out just in less than a week. Or I guess exactly. I think it comes out on a Wednesday, actually. It's a Wednesday release. But you got to see it. What did you tweet?
I tweeted out, what did I tweet? I've got my Twitter up here. I should read it just verbatim from what I said, because I'll probably never appear in a Collider collection of tweets here. We shall see. I said The Matrix Resurrections is a visually stunning film which lays out a damn interesting premise before devolving into a convoluted meta mess that attempts to trace the Matrix in order to recapture its magic. Oddly, it helps you appreciate even more what J.J. Abrams did with The Force Awakens. It's got nothing that unique to say about technology, love, or destiny, but it features a soulful Keanu Reeves, a radiant Carrie-Anne Moss, a fantastic Jessica Henwick, and a powerful Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. It's better than the previous 2 films, but that was never that high of a bar to cross. So to clear, rather. So that's my overall thoughts on it. Go in not expecting to be blown away by any of the concepts, because they seem about 10 years out of date. But the approach to it is interesting. The direction is interesting. The acting is fun. Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves just have a great natural chemistry. And I left off Jonathan Groff because I only have so many characters on my tweet there. So Jonathan Groff does a nice job kind of standing in for the character that's being teased in the most recent trailer. But in the end, I just felt at the end it was better than those last 2 movies, but ultimately unsatisfying for me. And I left wondering, why did we come back after 20 years if you weren't going to say something really profound with your movie? So that was my overall feeling, and there's more to say, which I'll say in a non-spoiler review when we're allowed to put those up. But
I think I think in 4 days.
4 days. Let's talk about it too deeply until in about 4 days.
So we'll let you off the hook there. We're not going to press you for questions, obviously, just in case you do cross that embargo line. And a couple of other tweets featured, and I do want to read out Laura Siri Cool's friend of the show here, because her thread of tweets just cracks me up about films. So she did like 1, 2, 3, she tweeted it three threads, like 3 tweets in her thread.
Oh yeah.
So she says, The Matrix Resurrection isn't too sure who their audience is. Torn between nostalgia and trying to find a new audience. Lots of flashbacks, maybe a little too many. It was just fine. Funniest part was The Matrix making fun of itself by being meta about the franchise. Keanu is hot.
Yeah.
Jessica Henwick and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II knocks it out of the park with their performance. I'm hoping if the Matrix universe expands, it'll center around them next. Also, we need more Jonathan Groff in this world. Finally, she says, yes, everyone in the movie is hot. Keanu, Carrie-Anne, Jessica, Yahya, Jonathan, Priyanka, and etc. Everyone's hot. That is not the first time that I've read in a social reaction that the cast is hot. So let's go to some of the other reactions we have for here. Hold on, let me just go to the hot one first. I gotta find it. I think it's Eric.
Okay.
I think it was Eric. So let me find Eric. Where are you? Oh no, is it not on here? I swear I just saw it. Dan Casey. Oh no, maybe it's not here. All right, I will read a different one.
Eric Davis, you mean?
Yeah, if you want to find Eric's, I'll read.
I can find Eric's.
All right. This one is from also a friend. She writes for Slash Film, Hoi Tran Bu. She says, The Matrix Resurrection is the best romance movie of the year. Based on what I saw in the trailer, I feel like that was coming. That sort of connection that we saw with between Neo and Trinity, because it is like the ultimate love story. Yeah. You know, like that's why the third one hurt so bad. You're like, what are you doing? This tweet comes from Chris Evangelista, who writes, The Matrix Resurrections is a total blast. Weird, romantic, extremely meta, and consistently funny. I kind of loved it. Also, everyone in the movie is ridiculously hot. You see? There it is again. Maybe it was this one that I read.
I don't know. If you keep defaulting to the hot, it doesn't tell me that you enjoyed the story.
They are hot. They are hot.
In my opinion. Yeah, I know. And I respect that. But it tells me that you're trying not to say anything negative about the story. I feel like Eric Davis said, the first act of The Matrix Resurrections is stellar. Smart, funny, weird, self-referential, and unexpected. I agree with him. I said that it starts out really well. Add to it wildly inventive action sequences, lofty storytelling decisions, and a ton of big ideas that will fuel lots of questions. Trust me, multiple viewings would be required. I definitely recommend watching the first 3 Matrix movies if you can, as the new film references them a lot. Longtime fans will dig this film and the ways it twists the mythology. It also lays groundwork for not just more sequels, but also prequels. WB could go Matrix wild. So, yeah, one of the positive
Matrix
reactions
TV
there.
show, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I'm down with that too.
I want to go ahead and dig into this one from Steve Weintraub, who we know as the editor-in-chief of Collider, who says, went into the screening of The Matrix Resurrections with a dozen theories, and none of them were right. First act of the film warped my mind with its brilliance. Loved so many things in the movie. Need to see it again for final judgment. Do you feel like this is a film that requires multiple watch for you to kind of, especially from a review standpoint, to kind of really dig into it?
Not for me. I mean, it's, as I said, the concepts here were not that different than the stuff they've been saying before. It's stay off your phones, technology, love. I mean, it's all stuff we've seen in the Matrix before. It's all concepts we've kind of looked at in the Matrix before. But I will say this. I mean, if you want to go back in, there are sequences, there are scenes in there that you can enjoy, but I didn't come away from it feeling like they said anything more profound that they haven't said in the previous 3 films. And so for me, maybe if you want to go back in and dig a little deeper in and try to create, stuff in your mind that you think it was trying to say, sure, go back and see it multiple times. As an analyst, it'll be fun for you to speculate and break down certain interactions or certain conversations that might spark a possibility down the road for it. But I didn't find it to be that deep. And the things that they were saying were stuff I heard 10 years ago in movies. And so that's why I come back to the point of what was the point of making this film 20 years later if you weren't going to say something really profound. But the way they mess with the mythology, I think Eric's right. The way they mess with the mythology, you can go in a number of places with it. And I think that was on purpose, which is why they didn't bring back certain people to play certain characters again. They wanted to open the door with going maybe a younger route. And so, which is their right as the owners of the IP. So
absolutely. Shall we move on to? I mean, look, I'm very excited to look for the film. I think anytime you put, kind of the word Matrix in front of me, I'm like, oh, Man, yeah. So I think that, yeah, if they were to spin off this, like WB has a really cool franchise on their hand with the Matrix, a very cool world, such as like a John Wick as well. Like if you look at that whole the Continental Hotel kind of a situation. I think if they turn this into TV show, like limited series, miniseries, a la how they did with, you know, we saw The Watchmen, which Yaya was also a part of.
Yeah, true.
Like, I just think you can just devote more time, but that's only if Lana Wachowski wants to devote time to writing, because that's a lot. It's not like less easy than writing and directing for a movie, but it's very consistent, especially if you're thinking about seasons. And I know this is not the type of property that she would just hand off to anybody. That's her baby. So
yeah, absolutely. That's for sure. You know, Park Lane Ninja calls me out correctly saying, John, you started with visually stunning in your tweet. Same but different as everyone is hot. Sure, that's true. But then I went right into the story, didn't I? Like right after I said that, I commented on the story. And I think that's where you got to kind of see the balance here and what you're speaking about within the tweet. So yes, I did start with visually stunning, but that's a compliment to the filmmaker. That's not a compliment because these actors were in the gym a lot. I'm complimenting the filmmaker, Lana Wachowski, what she did, and the cinematographer, what they were able to compose. So I don't think it's 100% correlative to saying someone is hot. This is a visually stunning film, which means it's groundbreaking in terms of the look and appearance of the Matrix. It's the most beautiful of all the Matrix films.
Really?
That I absolutely will give you, because it's clean, it's precise. The angles are nice. The colors they use within it are vibrant. And that's because the technology has jumped so much since 1999, you know, to make it look a certain way. So yeah, that's what I would say for that.
Man,
I appreciate the call out, Park Lane. Respect.
Now I'm bummed that I didn't go. I got invited to one of the screenings and it was going to be at the IMAX headquarters in Playa Vista. Wow. And I couldn't get myself out there.
That's a drive.
No. I mean, I was gonna do it, but just things like didn't work out, just didn't align. I'm like, man, I canceled the morning of.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because things just didn't work out. I'm like, man, this sucks. So, well, good to know. Now I know, you know, buying this when we do a third round of Spider-Man, watch that in IMAX and watch Matrix Resurrection in IMAX with 2 masks.
Yeah, well, it's also going to be on, you know, it's going to be on HBO Max on the 22nd.
Yeah, I know, but we don't have a 50-inch TV. It's
fair.
Little. I think it'll ruin it if, you know, the visual. Well, we'll see. I gotta stay healthy is the priority.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah.
All
right, let's and you know, that's coming out the 22nd, and sure there'll be non-spoiler and spoiler reviews coming out all next week through Christmas. So what's next, Wendy?
Hey, real quick, just a quick breaking news. So this happened sort of 3 hours ago.
Okay.
So it's not completely new, but 9 hours ago, my bad. Variety report on this 9 hours ago. So Universal's 47 Ronin is getting the headline. This is exactly what it says. Universal's 47 Ronin gets a facelift with female skewing blade exclusive. Ooh. So it looks like a sequel to, they just wrapped in Hungary, a sequel to Universal's 2013 Japanese themed action classic 47 Ronin, and this one is moved forward by some 300 years to present day Budapest, and is intended as a metaphor for east-west confluence, where a meeting of the 5 samurai clan is taking place.
Wow.
I didn't even realize that they were making a sequel. Were you?
No idea. And in no way is 47 Ronin an action classic. No offense. The original is a classic. Absolutely.
Yes.
But that 2013 one is not a
classic. The original I loved.
Yeah.
So here is the cast. Anna Akana, who is a actor as well as a YouTuber. You saw her briefly in the post-credit scene in Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man, when what's his face was explaining what happened to her on a park bench.
Yeah.
So she's in the post-credit scene, as well as U.S. martial artist Teresa Ting. And you've interviewed this person before, Mike Mo, who played Bruce Lee. Yeah, he's going to be in it. And then we have veteran Vietnamese American actor and filmmaker Justin Wen from Warrior.
Oh, nice.
Chris Pang and Fukuyama Chikako.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and Iron Chef A la Cuisine, Mark
Dacascos?
Yes.
Yeah, loved him
Yes.
in John Wick 3. He was great in John Wick 3.
I mean, honestly, this cast makes me happy, but I wonder.
Yeah, maybe
I
there's
gotta
better people
rewatch.
behind it.
Yeah, yeah. And again, things have improved technology-wise since 2013. So I'm curious whenever the trailer reveals, you know, see how it looks. But good for everybody involved. Happy to see how it's going to turn out.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, love the chat is bumping. We got 24 people joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, chat.
Steve Calderon, Draws Walker. Great to see you all hanging out with us and doing our thing. So thank you very much, Mr. Yasman 300. All right, where are we off to next there, Wendy?
Talk a little Avatar, The Last Airbender live action news here. So nothing major, but they did announce 5 additional new casting for the live action adaptation. I'm kind of surprised to hear some of them, specifically this first one. They announced casting for Azula. So if you go by the animated show, Azula is not really in season 1, like she shows up at the end. So I wonder if they'll do that with this too. And she'll be played by Elizabeth Yu, who is currently cast in the untitled Ray Romano film, as well as All My Love.
Right.
And then we will have Suki, who is the leader of the Kyoshi Warrior, played by Maria Zhang. And then we have, and we know this person from Cobra Kai, Tamlin Tomita. She's going to be playing Yukari, who is a new character. So this is going to be interesting. And it says here in the article, a brand new character that could point towards the series spending more time with the Kyoshi Warriors. Yes, with the Kyoshi Warriors, which makes me so happy because Kyoshi Warriors are very, very popular with the fans of the show.
Okay.
And then we have Yvonne Chapman from Kung Fu and Family Law. She's going to be playing Avatar Kyoshi. So again, that's like 3 iterations of the Kyoshis, which is very exciting. We have, I'm totally gonna butcher this last name, and I'm sorry, but she is from Reservation Dogs. Casey Camp Horinek?
Sure. Horinek.
Okay. Yeah. She's going to be playing Gran, who is Katara and Sokka's grandmother. So she's going to be, I'm sure, one of the hearts of the movie because we do love a Gran. So that is the 5 new additions to the series.
That's a lot of people.
I mean, it is it's a ensemble show.
Yeah. If you're an Asian actor or actress and you've got some cred or some resume, you need to be banging down the door to get on this thing because they are bringing in some really heavy hitters, some strong actors and actresses to be a part of this, to bring this series to life. And I love Tamlin Tomita. It's so funny they put Cobra Kai. How about the Karate Kid Part 2? That's where she's from originally, not Cobra Kai, for God's sakes, but she does appear in Cobra Kai in season 3, but she's Karate Kid Part 2. Come on now.
Yeah, I know.
Give some love. But great to see all these fantastic actors and actresses being a part of this. Exciting to see it, the world that's being fleshed out here just by having all this talent involved, Wendy, for sure.
I worry about, for Azula, Azula is, for anybody who hasn't watched the show, she is the sister to one of the lead characters, Zuko, of the Prince of the Fire Nation.
Okay.
And Azula is a vicious character. She's flipping crazy in the head. She is so ambitious. She wants all the power. And I'm just looking at this lovely, lovely photo of Elizabeth Yu, who looks so gorgeous, so natural, and so sweet. And knowing that the kind of level of emotion that she needs to dig into, like just all things bad with Azula, and like I'm not seeing it right now, so I'm very curious to see as long as it's not like the vicious approach in Cowboy Bebop, which I don't think it will. It'll be fine if she just digs in and give us like mean, bad, ambitious Azula. I will be happy because what they did with Vicious in the Cowboy Bebop live action was not the best. Not the best adaptation. So.
It's a fair point. I mean, she's 19 years old and she already has almost 14 million followers.
Yikes. Wow.
Insane on her Instagram. So crazy. Oh, no, sorry. That's her boyfriend, Gaten Mazzara, who has 14 million followers. So I don't know how many Elizabeth has.
Wow.
But that's her boyfriend.
Well, she's about to gain a ton of followers from this casting news.
Right. If you know Gaten Mazzara, that's, of course, the homie from Stranger Things. So nerdy guy with the big glasses and the curly hair. So
Yes.
great stuff. So all right. Well, congratulations to all those cast members, and make Wendy feel better about it. Do a great show, for God's sakes.
Please do.
She's
and
smart.
Also, Netflix, if you're listening, I would like to put my name in the hat to play Judy. Thank you very much for season 2, because I don't think they get to Bossing Say until season 2 or 3. So I'm here. I'm here if you're looking for Judy. All right. Let's see. What is next on our agenda? Oh, this is very exciting. We talked about this on the show before. We're finally getting a live action Blue Beetle. And originally this film was, when it was first announced, it was going to be an HBO Max debut. Now it looks like it's going to make the jump to the big screen in 2023, which makes me really excited, because I feel like, while I understand the release method of like putting it on HBO, kind of having it be an incubator, you put everything there and then you move it all in an ensemble, maybe to the big screen. I think Blue Beetle to start, because we've been asking for a Blue Beetle for years.
Years.
Mm-hmm. And I just feel that it really does deserve some time in the theater. And 2023 gives them more than enough time, and hopefully, again, knock on wood with the pandemic, like hopefully 2023, we don't have to worry about it. We can go in and, talk and laugh without having a mask on, because that is really, that's really the ultimate goal here. They're going to be skipping the whole streaming service thing, going straight to theaters.
Look, I tweeted this out. I said, I've been saying this since the Collider movie talk days, and maybe possibly even before that on those after show days, to Collider Heroes, to SEN, to my own show, the Geek Buddies, here on the Outlaw Nation channel, and to our show, that it's been beyond time for a Latino-led superhero movie. So yes, I was excited that Blue Beetle was announced and Jaime Reyes taking on the role, or rather Jaime Reyes being the Blue Beetle they focus on. That's great. But I was a little frustrated that it was going to HBO Max. I was a little frustrated that Batgirl with Leslie Grace, another Latina actress, was going to HBO Max. It's like you're seeing all the Latinos. Let's put them down in the lower leagues. And I was like, no, you got to let us have our shot at the title. And so I'm very glad that this is a first step towards that happening. And reading in the article that a number of people had issues with this, and I was one of those people that was vocal about it on Twitter. I'm glad that, not that they even cared what I said, but I'm glad that this is happening. And WB is making this decision, and Xolo Maridueño getting a chance to be on screen in a theatrical feature, to lead it, to maybe take the next step in his career is a great thing. And Juan Manuel Soto doing what he can do as a director. This is all positive. And I hope that they see this and the reaction that people have in the community, Latin communities, but also the nerd communities, and geek communities, and see that Leslie Grace is the next step they need to make, and make Batgirl a theatrical feature as well. Right? This is enough with this HBO Max rollout crap. Put your balls or your guts on the line and put it out in theatrical features and see what happens. We're seeing a lot of these Latino films are underperforming, and you can make all kinds of excuses. And I certainly had my battles about it when the West Side Story numbers came out. I tweeted my actual thoughts, which I felt it was racism as a part of this thing. This is because we're seeing Encanto underperforming in terms of the animation numbers. Like Frozen did way better than Encanto is doing. And then the other musical, In the Heights, completely crashed and burned. And so it's time to have more. Just because these didn't 100% catch on doesn't mean you shouldn't keep doing it. And so I'm glad that we're seeing these studios making this decision, like Blue Beetle, to go and put it out as a theatrical feature. Because also on the heels of that show on Disney Plus being canceled, The Diary of a Future President, that's a Cuban-American lead, and they canceled it after 2 seasons because there's not enough views. And so I'm like, what's going to happen here? And you can take that pandemic excuse and go into the water, because Spider-Man just made $50 million. I thought there was a pandemic. And so you can't give me that excuse for why West Side Story did not do well. And you can't rule out that racism isn't an element of it. So keep doing it, so eventually you knock down those walls and it becomes standard to see Latino-led films do well at the box office. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Yeah.
Well said. Well said. And before we move on to the I love that. Before we move on to the next topic here, I just want to shout out Brian Brawler. Brian Brawler, 200 bits. The first one says, ew, Avatar live action, is it still going to be only Avatar live action, is it still going to be only the first season? We don't know how far they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that we say ill because I think anytime anybody thinks Avatar Last Airbender live action, we go immediately to the M. Night one.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually just talked about this on SCN with the folks there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, that movie. Remember how angry Dennis Zen would get anytime anybody mentioned that movie?
That's true.
Like, Dennis doesn't really show, emotion and rage too often.
No. Right.
But just when you talk about that movie, just like, the monster comes out. And he's like, I hate that film. I don't talk about it. Strike it from its existence.
By the way, Dennis was at the Schmoedown Spectacular. I didn't recognize him at all.
Really?
He said hi to me, and I didn't know who the hell that was. His hair is long now. He's got the beard or goatee going on.
Good
and
for
he waved
him.
to me, and I'm like, who is? Oh, yeah, what's up? And then later he texted me. I said, that's you? And he said, yeah, I know. I'm unrecognizable now. So
good for him.
Yeah, working well, Dennis. Love Dennis.
Wow.
The other cheer was this one. Wendy, that's hilarious. Judy, is that the name of the character?
It's Judy, but she says it Judy. You have to watch it. I don't want to ruin it for you, but one of her iconic lines is, let me see if I can do it. I got to get into this space. Hello, I am Judy. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. That's my Judy. That's my audition.
That's pretty good. You got to give her the job now, for God's sakes.
Just
I love
the
this
smile.
idea.
I got the smile down.
All right. What do we got next here, Wendy?
The next we've got and this, I don't remember if we talked about it, but the Korean zombie film Train to Busan has already been in talks to do the American remake. It's actually in production, I believe, or will be in production. And so they finally revealed the title for this remake as well as the release date, which is going to be called The Last Train to New York, and the release date will be April 21st, 2023. 2023. So this is, let me see if I can scroll down to who is doing this. So it's going to follow the same premise of the original Korean film. It's going to be directed by Timo. Oh no. I'm gonna say Timo because I don't want to butcher his last name.
Jajanto. Let's just say Jajanto.
Oh, okay. Jajanto. That sounds right. And also, director and writer James Wan is actually set to produce the project.
Yeah.
So the both of them have spoke very passionately about this project. So I don't want to like disrespect and be like, it's gonna be awful. But I feel like at this point, I've seen as movie fans, have seen tons of films, foreign films being remade like an American remake, and it just doesn't quite hit the same. Or if it's too shot for shot, then it's not like, why did you remake it? Kind of remember like with Old Boy.
Yeah.
With Josh Brolin, where we're like, nah, like the original was definitely, better to me. Another one that I think of, if you want to go with a horror one, is the Eye.
Yeah, the Eye.
That with Jessica Alba as the lead actress, and that one just did nothing for me. And it's funny because the Korean film, the original, The Eye, that movie is solely responsible for my fear of being in an escalator by myself. If you've watched the film, you know what I mean. And I can't do it whenever, like I'll do it because I'm a grown adult, and sometimes you have to be in an elevator, not an escalator, in an elevator. But like I get creeped out, and if it's too long of a trip, I don't even want to think about like getting stuck. I would flip the F out if that happens.
Fair enough.
So I just don't know how necessary I feel this movie is. Train to Busan is so good. And if you're letting it stop you, like if the language barrier is what's stopping you from viewing the film, then just watch it dubbed. I know a lot of people watched Squid Game dub. That didn't stop them.
Yeah, exactly.
Parasite as well.
Yeah, Parasite. Yeah.
This is one of, hands down, my favorite zombie films.
Yeah.
And also, if you were into Eternals, Don Lee is in it.
Yes.
Call him the duct tape guy because his arms are just like bam, bam, huge. So,
he's so good in that movie. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the name.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
where are they coming from? Last Train to Busan. So Train to Busan. I don't remember where they were going from. Seoul to Busan, maybe Seoul
to Busan. Yeah,
I'm going to look it up while you give your thoughts.
But I think Brian Brawler nails it. He says, "Of course, God forbid it not be about New York." I know, and I agree with you. I think look, I'm a Yankees fan. I love New York. I love the city of New York. But like, I agree with you. I think there's other cities it could have explored. especially because I mean, Busan is not. Busan is a big city, and certainly, but it's not like the biggest city. So I think this is where they kind of making it about New York makes it already provincial. You shut down a lot of people from wanting to see it. And we'll see. And this director, he does some really interesting stuff with VHS 2 and VHS 94 and other projects. He makes some interestingly out there horror, either installments or overall films. And I don't know if he's the right choice for this situation. And we'll see with the casting, we'll see with the approach. But The Last Train to New York does not carry those same like kind of vibe as Train to Busan. Train to Busan is right in your face. It's boom, boom, boom. And the Last Train to New York sounds like a song I sang in a lounge last night.
So I looked up the distance of a train ride from Seoul to Busan. And I know that the system in East Asia, like some of the trains that they have are super fast. Like Japan has, you know, the bullet train and stuff. So I don't know if this is like just a general train ride or if it's some higher tech. But apparently it's an average of 2 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours.
Right.
From Seoul to Busan, which is how the movie took. So like where are they coming from to go to New York? That's what
I don't know. Jersey. I don't know. DC.
Jersey is short, right? It's like less than it's a very short outbreak.
Philadelphia? I don't know. You're right.
I don't know. Also, like riding trains isn't as big of a thing here in the US as it
really isn't.
Yeah. So look, this remake at least makes more sense than like if I don't know if they're continuing with this, and we're just sidebarring a little bit, but like a remake of Crash Landing on You, like that's worse because that has to do with North and South Korea. Right. When I heard that they were thinking about an American remake, I'm like, how are you going to do this?
Yeah,
we don't have that situation.
Was it on Amtrak? It's going to be on an Amtrak. Is Amtrak that scary? I don't know.
I don't really do the public transpo. I mean, I've done a little bit of public transpo when I think San Francisco, a little bit in New York, but mostly it's walking when I'm in those cities. And then LA and Florida, I just drive.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. MK Songbird corrects me a little bit. It says Timo knows how to direct action. The fights in The Night Comes For Us are insane and definitely knows how to do horror. I forgot about The Night Comes For Us. Yes. Thank you so much, MK, for reminding us of that, because I just totally forgot about that. It's a fantastically insane film with some great action sequences. I saw that one recently because a bunch of people recommended it to me in the Outlaw Nation Patreon. And so I was like, all right, I'll take a look at this one. And it is balls out insane. So yeah, respect. You're right. So if he brings that kind of approach to this film, then maybe we are in the right hands. I just hate that title. Change that title, man.
Maybe they'll change it.
Just call it The Last Train. Just call it The Last Train. Ooh. That's interesting. Boom, right to the point. Let's get it. Could mean a number of things. Yeah. Let's just get in there. Why do we have to say
worry less about a specific location? I guess they're thinking New York because it's a condensed city. So a zombie outbreak there would be catastrophic.
But people hate New Yorkers, man. So it's not going to be, Wendy. Like, I'm not saying I do. I love New York. I'm just saying, most of the country hates New York. So it's like,
I love New York. Really? That's a thing?
Yeah. Well, yes. New Yorkers, of course. Well, at least in the sports community, they certainly hate the New York teams. But I mean, just that funny. I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, zombies remake. Good. So I don't know necessarily if that's the right choice, but who knows?
Interesting.
What did Drunken Prayer say? Yeah, Drunken Prayer. I love this comment. The New York subway is terrifying enough on its own without zombies. So yeah, that's fair.
You can get lost in it for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did it once and I was like, where am I going?
Oh yeah. I ended up in the wrong.
I ended up like in the wrong, like I was driving by. I was like, this looks wrong. And then I said to somebody, they're like, oh, you were supposed to go in the other direction. I'm like, okay. Oh, yeah. I'll just get off at the next stop and just go back.
I remember getting out of one stop in New York and I walked out all the way up and I saw the people that were there and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go right back into the subway and get the hell out of here because I am not in the right place. I am not in the right place at all, man.
I feel bad. I put Dustin in that situation, something similar, but not in a public transport. We were in San Francisco for our like mini honeymoon because we wanted to do some sort of a getaway after the wedding, but didn't want to do anything big. We just wanted to relax. So we were like, let's go to San Francisco. We hadn't visited. It's local. We don't need to rent a car. We can just walk everywhere. So from our hotel, we were like, oh, let's go to Market Street. And I just looked at shortest route and I was like, we'll just go this way. So we started walking and he started to get uncomfortable. And I did a little bit too, because the situation changed. He's like, I don't think we're supposed to be walking here. And I was like, oh, it's fine. You know, and I had this like, I'm from Miami. It's fine.
Right.
We were in the Tenderloin.
Oh.
And I was like, and I looked and I was like, I think I'm not supposed to be here. So I turned around. I was like, let's go. Hide your shit. Let's go. Just in case.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
Whoopsie-daisy.
We said it to another couple another couple that we met just randomly on a thing. They were locals and they're like, oh, are you okay? And we're like, oh, we're fine.
We're good to go. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's keep it going here. Wendy, we're gonna jump into what's trending.
What's trending in a K-pop corner? So obviously we were hot on that BTS kick. You know, they were here 4 days straight concert. Brett Sheridan went to the concert. I didn't know his wife was Army, and I think that's awesome. So they also performed at the Crosswalk. You know how they do the Crosswalk concert on that show? I cannot believe the BTS, the management and their agency let them do this, because I was like, this seems so unsafe. But they performed their Crosswalk concert. They did 3 songs. They did Butter, Dynamite, and Permission to Dance. Wow. Obviously, fans were there. They're running out into the streets. And it was just a good time with different costume changes and different sets for all 3 songs. I wish I would have witnessed it, because some of those people just gave me life. Like there was this one shot of one of the UPS drivers who's just like bopping to it. I was like, yes, he's Army for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I used to live 2 blocks away from this crosswalk for 8 years.
The infamous crosswalk.
When we worked together, Wendy, I would drive up from this crosswalk.
That's how far you lived.
Work. Yeah, literally, it's a block, because I lived on Ogden Street, which is 1 block over the roadway in. That's the 76 gas station. Yeah, I literally lived by this crosswalk. I mean, who knew that me moving away?
Genesee and what?
It's Genesee and Beverly. Genesee and Beverly. Genesee and Beverly.
Wow, I drive past there all the time when I was doing auditions.
Right, it's 3 blocks off of Fairfax. So
wow,
or is that no 3 blocks off La Brea? I think La Brea or Fairfax. Yeah, one of those 2 big streets. So it was just
I think La Brea.
So La Brea. So. This is hilarious. This is much better, this crosswalk thing, than what he did with the Cinderella cast for sure. So, and I think it's getting better reception. But people get mad at this stuff because they are doing this right in the middle of when there's really a lot of traffic on that crosswalk around that time. So I've been there when people have gotten upset at each other and pretty mad at each other on that crosswalk. So interesting place for them to set stuff up.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, it doesn't feel safe for any time anybody performs there. I was like, I feel like somebody's going to like rage blast through the red light and like.
Here's a news flash for people who maybe don't live in Los Angeles after living there for 20 years. Not everyone loves the entertainment industry, and not everyone is into the entertainment industry. Yes, they'll go see movies, but they ain't about kissing the entertainment industry's ass. So when you see something like this during rush hour, people are trying to get home, ironically, so they might enjoy some programs from CBS, because that's where he shoots the studio. They will get super upset at anything that delays them getting home, because that street gets real congested during traffic after 3 o'clock, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. That street is a bumper to bumper traffic for sure, man. So I'm not surprised people got upset about it, or might have given them weird looks for sure.
Yeah, so, but also like the same people, and of course the fans. I was looking for Laura Sirico. I was like, where is she? I feel her presence.
Yeah,
she's somewhere with her light stick. So that was a fun thing to kind of wrap up BTS's stint in here in the U.S. and they're back in Korea. I hope they get tons of rest. They deserve it. Just if you want to see what they're up to, they're posting pretty regularly on their individual Instagram. That's got multi-million followers. So go check that out. And then a group we haven't talked about too much on the show from the JYP Entertainment. Twice have now announced more dates for their North America tour. So they're doing a world tour, and it's taken a while because and hopefully this new variant doesn't change anything for them, because tickets are sold, but obviously we don't know. It's kind of an up in the air thing. But yesterday they shared that they're going to be performing additional nights here in here in LA as well as New York for their tours, because they had sold out initially. Already. So this is Twice hasn't toured in a long time. So it looks like here available dates for LA at the Forum is February 15th. And then in New York in the UBS Arena is going to be February 26th. 7th. And this is their 4th world tour. They've been together for so long. And I remember I can't remember the last time they were in the US. I really can't remember because with the pandemic, I'm like, I don't, what was those
time?
years? What is time? But I'm very excited. I didn't try to get tickets because after the whole BTS thing, I'm like, you know what? I'll just watch everybody's footage.
Reactions.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a lot. And look, we've got people in here who went. The Attaboy said, also missed last week's show, but I was able to get last-minute tickets to the BTS concert. They were so good. And says, I'm in the queue for the New Days, but they're sold out already. So,
wow. Yeah, I think it's because the group hasn't been able to tour for a long time. You know what I mean? So everybody is kind of grasping to like I need to get a ticket, and the scalpers are like, oh, I need a ticket so I can mark it up $1,000. And I was like, who's paying for this? That sounds stupid. As much as like I collectively, if you're going to all the multiple shows and you spend $1,000, I understand. Respect to you. $1,000 on a single ticket? That's outrageous. I can do a lot of stuff with $1,000.
It's true. That's true.
I can eat all the food I want. I can pay bills.
Life-lasting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, go check out by the doctor, medical bill. I don't know, stuff.
Go to Carbon Health. Hello.
Hey.
All right, let's jump into our last story here and what's trending, Wendy. What do we got?
We got to talk some Hawkeye and a bit of spoiler warning for anybody who has not watched episode 5 of Hawkeye. If you haven't watched it, you might want to like mute us for the next couple of minutes so we can talk about this. But look, we said it. We knew it was coming. It is now confirmed just in the last final moments of episode 5 of Hawkeye. What was your reaction when you saw the little flip phone photo?
Well, you know, we've been doing the spoiler reviews on the Geek Buddies, so it's been a conversation topic, whether that person is coming or not, over the last 2 weeks. And then finally, it seemed very clear that that person was coming after last week. So boom, seeing him there, and they're saving him for the finale, which I think is really interesting. And they're doing the same thing they did with Yelena. Remember, Yelena showed up first a couple of episodes ago, didn't say a word. And then this episode, she can't stop talking, which in a great way, because that was fantastic what she did throughout the whole episode here. And now we get this introduction, and then he didn't say a word, but I'm sure he'll have something to say in the finale, which is next week. And it's crazy, Wendy. Already the show is almost over. And it's heartbreaking because this has been such a great show. And it's going to be done like 2 days before Christmas, 2 or 3 days before Christmas. So it's like, oh man, are people what's going to be the reaction overall? You know, are they going to be able to stick the landing? Because that's been the big complaint. But my reaction overall was, yep, we saw it coming. Great to see him. Excited that this is opening the door to some of these Netflix characters coming through. And hopefully John Bernthal's Punisher is not that far behind, because maybe I don't think I liked any other Marvel Netflix season from top to bottom the way I like that first season of The Punisher. And that includes the Daredevil seasons, ladies, and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. That first season of Punisher is my favorite of all of them. So yeah.
Very, very exciting. And like you said, we all knew it was coming, but just to have that actual, visual confirmation, it's like, yes. And I enjoed the end credit too. Not that there was a scene, but all the graphics of, his silhouette kind of looming over everybody else, in synchronizing with the end credit song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah.
I was like, who put this together? You knew what you were doing. You knew exactly what you were doing.
Here's a question, Wendy. What is your favorite stuff in mac and cheese? Since Yelena put hot sauce on her.
Now it's sriracha.
Really?
Now it's sriracha. I think I've done drizzles of hot sauce in there before. When I was in college, I would do, ideally, if I were to go real junk foodie, I'd put not the whole thing, tiny bits of Spam in it. But in college, I just went with the hot dog. It happened. Yep. No shame.
No shame, Wendy.
No shame. It was great. So, but next week I am cooking up some instant mac.
Ooh, nice.
For sure. And I'm going to put a whole ton, as much sriracha she did in the pot. I'm going to do the same thing. Whatever Yelena's doing, I want to do.
Yeah.
That was a great conversation.
Oh my God. That Michael said it. Michael Vogel said it on the Geek Buddies review. We just dropped the spoiler review earlier today. He said it's for him, it's the greatest conversation scene in all of the MCU, including the movies, including the TV shows, everything. And you know what? It'd be hard to argue. It's certainly in the top 5 and maybe even the top 1. Maybe
I put that one and the one with Vision and Wanda.
Oh yeah.
I would put those two, very different type of vibes, but that one was so good. It gave me, do you watch Killing Eve?
Yeah, I love Killing Eve.
It gave me a little bit of like Jodie Comer, Sandra Oh conversations.
Like on the bed and stuff like that.
Less crazy though, because like Jodie Comer's character in that show, she's like banana cuckoos, but she's also an assassin. She's a highly skilled assassin as well. So, oh God, I loved it so much.
Villanelle was great.
So good. I love that show. Season 4, I think they just wrapped or just started.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. Yeah, I think they did. And this is what you talk about that because Yelena has some interesting characteristics through that conversation that are kind of close to how Villanelle is. This kind of like separation, right? This kind of weird sociopathic separation from humanity, a little like social norms that don't 100% fit, you know? So interesting to see 2 different interpretations of kind of maybe the same approach to that.
I feel like she did it on purpose because that's not the Yelena that we got with Natasha.
Right.
Because she knows Natasha. Now she doesn't know Kate Bishop, but so she's got her guard slightly up, but it's also slightly down because like she's not trained, you know. Yelena's very comfortable in her own skill. She's like, I know what I'm good at. She even said it. So she came to get information. She came to make sure she has a little understanding of like, look, I'm not here to in anything with you. You seem to be like on the same side as this guy. I'm here to tell you what I'm going to do to this guy. And I'm just telling you, don't get in my way again. Cause I didn't kill you last time, but that's not to say that I may not accidentally be get in the way just to, you know, remove one of my problems off the map here. So she was in the driver's seat the whole time.
Her laughing at Kate when Kate said, oh, it's a good thing I didn't kill you. And she's like, oh, you killed me.
You killed me?
You kill me.
I like also how she was like, oh, that fight was so long.
1 fork? This is not cutlery, Kate.
This is not cutlery. Florence Pugh's ability to mimic accents is incredible because
it rivals Jodie Comer's.
Yeah. The first time I saw her was Fighting with My Family, right?
Right. Yes.
So I thought she was wait.
She is British, but from a different area. Yeah.
So when I heard her in an interview, I was like, well, that's not the same accent from the movie.
Yeah.
And then some of the other ones, you know, like her, Jodie Comer, and Tom Holland are great.
Oh,
Tom Holland's American accent is on, because I feel like sometimes the British actors, when they do American, you can hear that they're trying to form their mouth a little bit because, you know, it's needed for accents.
Right.
But Tom's is really, really, and he flips it on and off so quickly, so natural.
Yeah.
I had a friend, we were talking about something, we were watching like a Tom Holland behind the scenes thing. She goes, he's British. I'm like, surprise. Did you also know Christian Bale was British? I should have asked her that. Maybe she doesn't know. I didn't know about Christian Bale being British until like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My mind. I was like, what?
I remember him being a child actor in Empire of the Sun and in Henry V. That's when I saw Chris. So, you know, I knew he was British from but I hear, but there's always surprises. Yeah. I didn't know Tom Holland was British till I saw him in an interview, just like you. And this, I think what's also great about this is that Florence Pugh is just, you know, it seems so effortless, yet, you know, she's just naturally so gifted, but also works hard at her craft because to create those little moments, those little like kind of asides, those little kind of back and forths, and she's playing, her saying her name constantly is just to unsettle her while she's trying to be nice to her. So it keeps you like not knowing what the hell's going on and which way to feel about a person.
Yeah. Just
brilliant work she's doing. Absolutely brilliant work. And if you want to hear a bad American accent, I mean, I think Cumberbatch is still working through his American accent as Stephen Strange. It's gotten better.
It's better.
For sure. Because that Doctor Strange movie, at times, a little rough. So,
you know, that one didn't stand out much to me. What was the other one? He did The Theory of Everything?
Oh, yeah. The Theory of... no, that's Eddie Redmayne. You're thinking Imitation Game.
Yes,
Imitation
that
Game.
one. Yeah, that one, I don't know. Wow, how did I mix those two? They're not even the same.
No, but they came around the same time, so I can understand why.
It's like The Prestige and The Illusionist.
Yeah, The Illusionist, exactly.
So. But one was significantly better.
Yes,
at least to me.
Yeah,
should we move on to our final thing?
Let's do it. Yep, let's get on out of here, and we'll talk about our last thing. What do we got?
We just want to kind of give our thoughts, non-spoiler, for Spider-Man No Way Home. So again, apologies to anybody who hasn't had the chance to see the film. We're not going to talk about any spoilers. So please don't in the comments or in the chat ask so in the film. Like, you can read the Variety article if you really want to find out the entire plot of the movie. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to are going to talk about things that have been shown in the trailers, because we don't consider those to be spoilers. So if you haven't watched the trailer, this next bit of discussion, you probably also don't want to tune into. Somebody got very mad at my non-spoiler review because I talked about things that are in the trailer.
If it's in the trailer,
specifically, like a Green Goblin, like a Electro and a Doc Ock, and he's like, I haven't seen the trailer. You said this was spoiler free, and I'm like, I mean,
for God's sakes,
I don't know why you're watching a review, period. What do you think I'm going to talk about? But the funny, I don't have my phone. I screen capped it. The funny thing was, I said I enjoyed how much the trio of MJ, Ned, and Peter shined, because like I love their dynamic and their friendship, and I love that it was the through line of the film too. Like, they were very much all in it together. And he's like, great, now I know that their bond is strong. I'm like, am I being trolled?
Yeah. I usually delete those comments when they leave comments like that.
I'm gonna leave it so other people can read it and be like, man.
Because I used to engage most of the time. Now I just kind of delete the comment. I'll still write my comment, and by the time I'm writing my comment, I go, do you really need to post this? Just delete the comment, and then I'll delete their comment.
Or you can just mute them so they can continue to comment, but they're screaming into the void because it doesn't ever get published.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know that.
Only they can see it, but no one else on your channel can see it.
That is brilliant.
You're like, thanks for
Parkley Ninja says, no spoilers, John, looking at you. That's right. So when the Flash shows up, their Flashpoint mirroring what we're seeing in the multiverse. No, I'm just joking. Here's the
Flashpoint, Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson. There's a connection. No, I mean, I did the non-spoiler review. You're going to cry. You're going to be emotional. You're going to get caught up in everything. The villains reference stuff from the other movies. So definitely, if you want to do a refresher on the other movies, you should definitely do a refresher on the other movies and get knowledgeable about what happens, because there are little asides, little comments that are well done. There are more villains that come through. So that's not a spoiler necessarily, but certainly, especially because you saw it in the trailer, those villains that weren't highlighted as powerfully are not doing the press tours. They are there as well. And and what Wendy said is right. This is very much Tom Holland's movie. Okay. Some people were worried that it wasn't going to be because of Doctor Strange and other things. No, this is very much Tom Holland's movie and his journey in this next stage of being Peter Parker, and the connections with his friends, as you said, Wendy, with MJ and with Ned, and also with his Aunt May, and how he's progressing through the world in this next stage of life after he's been exposed as being Spider-Man, thanks to J. Jonah Jameson and Mysterio in the last film. So this is a very well done film that will absolutely, possibly vie for being considered the best film in the MCU so far. And that's crazy to even think about.
It's such an excellent film. And I love that, obviously you should definitely have watched Far From Home before diving into this one. Otherwise, that first 5 to 10 minutes is going to be completely lost on you. You're going to be like, why is it a big deal? So I enjoyed that, and this was already kind of a struggle for Peter Parker, in Homecoming as well as Far From Home. Do I tell? Who do I tell? Who do I not tell? How do I tell them? Am I going to be treated differently? But now everyone knows. So there's positive attention, and there's also negative attention. And it's not really just centered on him, and he sees how it affects the people around him, and him having to feel guilty and work through that, but also not able to really stop being Spider-Man, because he feels that because he has the ability to keep people safe, he should. But at what cost? So I love that this is definitely, out of the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man films, the most emotional one. I think Starju
Yeah.
says there's at least 5 crying scenes. It's just amazing.
That's correct.
There really is. I definitely like cried, like actual tears fell in the second viewing. The first one, like the tears welled, but I was taking notes too, so I was like, I gotta review. I can't like I gotta turn off the feelings and let not this affect me, because I gotta watch it as a reviewer. But I'm just so happy it is filled so good. And you know what's funny is I've read some critics, and this is not to discredit anybody else's feeling about their reviews or anything like that. And I kind of felt this way too going in the beginning, that the first act, the pacing was a little like, oh, okay, there's a lot of like, we got to set this up, we got to exposition here and there to really amp it up for the second and third act. I really felt none of that the second time around, where I was like, oh, this part is going to drag, it's coming up, like how you know.
Right.
And I felt none of that. And the second viewing feels like it went by even faster than the first.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see it again this weekend on IMAX, so I can get the full breadth of what Jon Watts is doing. And something I said in my non-spoiler review is that, people are talking about Jon Watts or Tom Holland or Zendaya and Jacob Batalon and all of that, and the production design and the look and all. But like, to me, Mauro Fiore is the unsung hero of this movie. He is the cinematographer of the film, and he did not do the previous 2 films. This is a guy who did he was the DP for Avatar, DP for a number of movies, including the recent X-Men. But like, the look of the film is next level. It is more cinematic than the previous 2 films. So I think the studio and Feige and Jon Watts knew they had to go next level with this movie because of the story they wanted to tell. And they needed to bring in somebody who understood how to color and light and frame and compose shots that would give you that feeling that this had just as much of a cinematic power, cinematic effect on you as Endgame did, as powerfully as Endgame did. So to me, that's what I see. And so I've been trying to kind of make that clear to people. Like, Mauro Fiore deserves a lot of credit for getting some incredible shots in the movie that kind of make you feel like you're watching an epic film. And it's 2 hours and 30 minutes long. It's not a short film. So it's got a lot to say.
And my God, you guys, stay. We've had 10 years of comic book movies now. Please stay until the way to the end for the credits. People in my theater, in the public viewing, not at the press screening. People left as soon as the credits started. They like got up, and I was like, but don't you want the extra stuff that comes with your ticket? You paid how much to get into this movie?
Yeah. I had a friend text me yesterday. He said 30 people walked out. After the first post-credits or the mid-credit scene, 30 people walked out.
Why would you do that for any comic book?
You missed out on such a big thing.
It was such a big thing. Yeah, make sure you stay all the way to the end. And those are going to be the same people that's screaming about spoilers. Be like, I didn't know this was now it's spoiled. I was like, well, you were there. You could have just stayed an extra 8 minutes and just like sit there and watch all the hardworking people's name go by on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
All you had to do. And I think also like the Spider-Man score, like this Spider-Man score is probably my favorite.
Oh, yes.
So
the
good.
Music, it's the same. I think it's the same people who did the music for the last 2 films, but yes, again, to match what they were trying to do with this movie, I think, and I said this in my initial reaction when I recorded myself outside the theater, everybody brought their A game. Everybody understood the assignment and came in with the best of their abilities. And it shows on the screen with the music, the direction, the acting, and the composition, the cinematography, the costumes, everything. It's been fantastic. It's fantastic. So yeah, you're right, really Wendy, to point out the music. Yeah.
So good. Tom Holland is great. He's an expert at knowing how to make me cry.
Oh,
because when he cries, I cry. And in almost all the movies that he's been in, Spider-Man, obviously, Endgame.
I don't
know if I quite got teary in Homecoming and Far From Home, but definitely in this one, Cherry and the Devil All the Time, like all of them, I'm like,
the impossible.
If he cries, I cry too.
So good. So good. Oh,
everybody cries.
Yeah, exactly. You all are going to enjoy it. Go see it this weekend if you can. And of course, I know the Omicron and all that's happening, so be careful, but go see it for God's sakes. You're going to love it.
Just wear your masks. It depends on it depends on your own comfort level. If you're not comfortable, then I know it sucks. I know it sucks because it is a theatrical only release, but you got to do if it's going to give you so much anxiety that you can't sleep at night, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think I did a thing. This is much earlier this year, where it was like an indoors thing, and afterwards I was so anxious. I was like counting down the days so that I can get a COVID test, because like anytime I had a slight nose itch, I'm like, oh God, this is like, you're flipping out. And I was like, never again, I'm doing this. And I
Is it happening?
It was just like indoor dining. Like I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. And you know what's sad? Only 3 other tables were inside the restaurant. This was early 2021. I was like, I guess I'm not ready for this.
Wow.
Yeah, after being vaccinated and everything, I was like, I guess I'm not ready.
Get boosted. All right, let's get on out of here. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We had a lot of people rolling through the chat, leaving bits, leaving cheers. So thank you so much. Thank you, Brennan, for resubscribing for another 5 months at tier 1. It's very kind of you. Thank you, Brennan. And thanks to everybody who's been taking a chance on this show, both on Twitch and on YouTube. We've been consistently crossing 2,000 views on YouTube lately, which is great. Thank you so much. And definitely here hanging out with us live on Twitch. We will continue to do this into 2022, but we're going to take the next couple of weeks off because of Christmas and New Year's. But we thank you very much for going or taking our train, not the last train, but our train here on the John and Wendy show. Wendy, and much love to you, Wendy. Thanks so much for taking a chance on this show. And it's been a blast, and looking forward to seeing what we do in 2022. And where can people find you in the meantime?
Thank you so much. Thank you. This show has been so much fun. Like, I enjoy kind of, leading up to Friday, thinking what topics would be really fun. And I know generally it's kind of in the geek world, but we try to include a couple of other ones here and there to make it feel a little bit more of like a variety for you guys. And I just enjoy talking to John about anything and everything. Like, we'll text each other throughout the week and just complain about stuff. Complain about things all the time. So it definitely isn't just like a friendship on screen. It's on and off screen as well. Absolutely. You can find me. A cool thing. Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. PT, I'm going to be playing in D&D 5e charity game for Jasper's Game Day. And it'll be on the D&D Beyond twitch.tv server. So twitch.tv/D&D Beyond, 7:30 p.m. PT. That's where you'll find me playing. I won't say what character I'm playing yet, just so it's a surprise for everybody who's going to join. And then also here on Twitch, streaming. I haven't done in a while because it's been busy, but I do want to at least get one stream in before the year ends. Twitch.tv/Wendy Lee Zaney, the Movie Couple channel on YouTube, and just my name at Wendy Lee Zaney on Instagram and Twitter. Throwing it back to you, John. All
right. Well, you can always find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram, as you see down below there. But also remember to, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching me now on Twitch, follow and subscribe to us here on the Outlaw Nation, all one word. But yeah, if you're watching this later on YouTube, subscribe as well. Just crossed 19,700 subscribers overnight, trying to get to that 20,000 by the end of 2021, so I can go into 2022 with 20,000 subscribers. I just feel like that would be awesome. So if you can come aboard and help me do that, I'd appreciate it madly. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, and share it on your social media so other people can come aboard and see what the Outlaw Nation is all about, with great co-hosts like Wendy Lee being a part of the content we do here. It means a lot. So thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Don't forget my other podcasts, The Cinephiles, The Top 10, and The Geek Buddies, that you can go and listen to during the Christmas break. And come back and join us in 2022 and have some fun with us, for God's sakes. But take care of yourselves. Enjoy your time with your friends or your family. Do mental health breaks if you need it. Lord knows a lot of people do when they're around their family and friends during the holidays. So do all that you need to do, and then come back and join us happy, safe, and healthy for a brand new 2022. And I have a feeling it's a year full of possibilities. I got a crazy feeling. Yeah, I got a crazy feeling. We've been through hell for the last 2 years. Let's have something good in 2022. All right, y'all, take care of yourselves. Be well, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode in 2022 of the John and Wendy Show. Peace.
Bye, everybody.